Hello, my name is Will, and we're going to be going through a short Commentated demo of my junior year game project, in which I was a technical level designer, and I did a bunch of minor gameplay features, such as saving level transitions. I was also the audio programmer, so it was my job to make sure that the right sounds played in a lot of places. And we're just gonna go through that, starting on the campaign. This, more than my others, because this is such a big game, is going to be a lot of commentary, more so about what's happening and gameplay features, more so than talking about my role, just because we have a lot of... This is definitely the longest student game that I made, and I have a lot to blaze through to make sure that you don't have to watch like a 40-minute video as I spend 20 minutes explaining
I'll be your real-world point of contact
the fun
for this mission.
dialogue that I had to implement and all that. So I'm gonna real quick go into settings, turn down the voices, which didn't save properly, but yeah. It's been a year, I don't have to worry about bugs anymore, right? Not in a student game. Jump up here. I did the waypoints, which included making sure that they actually tracked on the screen. In development, these waypoints actually would go away after about, I think it was around 10 seconds. They would deactivate, and then you could press a button to make them show up on the screen again. But about midway through, the design decision was made to just have them constantly be on the screen, which was nice because it was at least less bug testing for me. But yeah, making these waypoints sync up and trying to make sure that when you actually respawned, it displayed the right waypoint was a lot of fun. What essentially I had to do, because I implemented the checkpoints and the waypoints, and the checkpoints are just hitboxes that are around the environment where if the player hits them, pretty simple, it saves their ammo at that point, and it saves the currently active waypoint for them. That, I also code this little event popping up, which was a very fun distraction on a busy day to actually learn the interface for those computers. Yeah, no, coding the waypoints and the checkpoints, having the play actually hit the checkpoint, and then having to go through and save the waypoint, and then having to go through on level reload and be like, okay, this waypoint is supposed to be active, was a lot of fun. The waypoints actually themselves were just a lot of fun because the way they're hooked up is they are 3D hitboxes, which have essentially a little sprite on them that pops up. So when you actually hit the hitbox, they have just a reference to the next waypoint in the chain. It's just a daisy chain of waypoints. But it was a lot of fun to actually go and make a little test scene and code those in. Including, skipping to the first boss of this game, which was a very cute little big turret, in which we have to hit these 3 pylons. And he shoots you with a big laser cannon, which I always thought was the coolest thing. And I'm actually going to swap it in to the shotgun real quick, because when you activate this, using the shotgun and of dodging his missiles real quick to finish him off. Pops up a big spike. And then we hop into the change level code, which was mine, and it's like 3 waypoints in Unity's Unreal's blueprint system. This was actually, I remember this was my first time working in Unreal, and learning the blueprint system was... Oh man, I remember we got into it in the fall, and I had to code my first things for this game, which I believe was just like looking into the checkpoint and waypoint system and trying to figure out how Unreal handled level changes, what was saved and what wasn't. And I remember looking at the Unreal blueprints for the first time as like a coder and being like, what do you mean I can't write my own if and else statements? Like, this is pointless. What can you even do with it? And I got to the end of the year and I was like, oh man, this is great. I can do whatever I want in just a bunch of easy nodes. Half the functions are already there for me. Including, I remember the most complicated piece of code I had to write for this was, I believe, specifically for the waypoints, making them pop up in the right spot. was very difficult because of the way that I had to translate world to camera space. I think it was like somewhere around 15 different function calls to just different like sine and cosine and tan functions to try to get the angles. A little peek to the rest of the level to try to get the angles right, which was a lot of fun in Unreal's system. Being able to visually look at like, okay, how do I need to get the vector to the player, and I need to get the vector pointing over to the waypoint from like the base world space, and I need to actually hook that up with Unreal's UI system. A lot of fun math going into just the 3D world space of that, and trying to actually make sure that I got the functions and geometry right. Probably the highlight of this project for me was just trying to figure out that. Hard? Not really. Fun and interesting? Yeah. Finish off the enemies here. Shoot that last little turret. And then we have a personal highlight of this game for me, which is you just run towards this corner, like, what's next? And like 3 drones spin around the corner, sometimes very literally. Including this little bugger who always surprises me. Finish this guy up. There you go. And we have a quick sniper bot, which, there we go, I was just barely able to finish. Up to here, to one of the hardest checkpoint spots for me, was dealing with this dude, and trying to lay out the checkpoints correctly for this. So we jump up here, jump over here, go across this little vent section, which had this nice, super cool grading effect, which I always thought, I didn't do, but I always thought was super cool. Jump over here, and then I can actually show off my checkpoint system here. If I believe the checkpoint was back here. But if I die, click retry, it just spawns me back. And there was a bug in this specific level, which I discovered in demoing, where like this specific checkpoint doesn't save the waypoint correctly. And unfortunately, I didn't have the source code to fix it before I started recording this demo. So, jumping over here with the little guiding balls of light and onto a launcher, which was
That portal will take you to the Titan AI itself. It's going to throw everything it's got at you. I hope you're ready.
This is a fun section. This level used to be much longer. There was a whole section where we would go in here, but this launcher bit, these launchers used to fire you at an angle, so I had a lot of fun while trying to actually implement the checkpoints and the waypoints and some of the other features like the health and ammo pickups into the level. I had a lot of fun trying to deal with eep. Please, 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 no. I had a lot of fun trying to deal with getting those launchers to launch me correctly so that I could actually get to where I needed to go. And pop down here. And into the tank boss. Cute little cutscene showing you the glowing weak points of the game before we actually load in and fight Titan. Alright. I remember doing the spatial audio, I believe, for this. I actually really don't want to be here, do I? Oh, that's bad. I remember doing the spatial audio for this bit because of the little lava pool. Nope. Doing the spatial audio so that all the little engines and lava pools and everything played correctly was actually very tricky. For some reason, there was a bug on like this level in particular where when I tried to put in little spatial audio bits, that is a missile targeting me. When I tried to put in the little audio bits, they would either play globally or at like 0 volume. I think the solution was just eventually like a collision issue that was popping up. Please, for the love of God, purge the ads just a little bit. deal with the machine gun fire, which is just the little balls that you might see flying across the screen at some point. Literally sneeze on the last weak point. There we go. And jumping through this portal brings us back to the main menu, and that is the game. Hopping into the credits. There's my little name. A lot of these are repeat names, which is why the credit list looks so long, like Tyler, and Tyler. Yeah, that was my junior project, where I was just a technical level designer and the audio programmer for Arya, who worked with me on my next project. A lot of fun working with her. Special shouts to Tyler for being a good producer for a team this big. And I could spend like 20 more minutes just talking about the contributions of all the designers and programmers on the team. But it's already an 11-minute video, so I will hop out to the main menu, quit the game, and leave it there.